I think it was just born out of really caring for my first car. When I got my first car, I didn't have the money to modify it. A bunch of my friends had Camaros and Mustangs and did exhausts and that, and I did not have the money for that. My parents made me work for everything I had, and which I appreciate, but like I had the budget to go to the local auto parts store and buy a can of Meguiar's Paste Wax and some Scratch X polish and just make my car look amazing. And in high school, I would wash my car 3-4 times a week, like it almost always. So I got known for having like the cleanest car at school. I'm Jeff McGovern at Immaculate Reflections, and we're located in the San Francisco Bay Area. I enjoyed the process. I hear that echoed with a lot of my customers who say that washing their car is therapeutic. You know, some people, ride horses for therapy. Everyone has a different way of having therapy. And I think that's one that I've really enjoyed over the years. And it kind of grew from that. When I was starting college, had finished high school, I had a part-time job at working retail, and it sucked. I didn't like it. Nobody liked it, but it was like kind of what you did at that age. And they weren't very respectful of my time and my availability, which was based around my school schedule. I mean, so like, oh, this is a blackout day. You can't have this day off. I'm like, I have finals. What are you talking about? Like, no, you have to come in. I'm like, sorry, I'm not selling flip-flops and missing a final. It's just no. And then one of my friends we were talking about, he's like, dude, your car is always clean. Like, why don't you start like doing that for other people? And the idea was born there. And so I just kind of started, and I mean, within a year, I went from doing it part-time, 15, 20 hours a week to 40 plus while working through college. And gosh, I don't think I've worked a week less than, outside of like vacation, I don't think I've worked a week less than 55 or 60 hours since 2003, 2004, something like that. So it just blew up from there. I think the thing that I like the most is interacting with the customers and speaking their language with the cars that they bring in. So when that Porsche fanatic comes in and you can speak their language, the chassis codes and all of that, the BMW folks, the Corvette guys, that's really fun. It's not putting on a face for them. It's stepping into that world. And as a car enthusiast since I was a kid, like I live and breathe that. Like you can ask my wife, what are you looking on your phone? It's something car related. After work, before work, on vacation, I'm always looking at cars. So I live and breathe cars, and it feeds that inner 5-year-old that got excited the first time he saw a Lamborghini, and like I love it. The people who come in who are passionate about cars, it works the best with. That person who the car's cool, but it's not special to them, it's a little harder with, but I really like connecting one-on-one with the owners. I'm a much more introverted person, but it's the one area of my life where I'm a little bit more extroverted. The thing I want my customers to feel is that we heard them. We heard them when they came in, and we listened and we achieved their goals. Now, you can achieve goals by checking the box, like you did the thing. That's not what I want my customers to feel like. I want them to feel like they had an experience. I may not have granite marble floors in my office, but I want a more luxury experience. And that experience is that one-on-one connection. So you start by connecting with them on their cars, hearing them, addressing their concerns, and really, like, especially if there's any kind of uncertainty in their voice about something, hash it out with them. Really dive deep and, set their expectations. You want to be realistic, but you don't want to be realistic in a way where you're too direct and off-putting. Because you might have someone come to like, hey, I want to get this service done, but there's also this scratch that's been bugging me. People, I think, that maybe have less of a moral compass, so we'll just take the money and be like, yeah, we'll get that out. And then once it's not out like, well, there's only so much we can do. Like, no, I do that at the beginning. Like, hey, I don't know if we can get that one out. Here's what I can do. We can get it repainted. If you want to cross that bridge, we can definitely do that. But I want to let you know right off the bat, here's what's the likely outcome, and I'm going to do everything that I can to like make that happen. And just, it's different with every person and every car, and just feeling the little nuances there is really key. But when they come away with it, I want them to feel like that was a special experience. I didn't just pay to have this service done. Like, he's my guy. Like, that's where I go to. The first time that someone has a luxury experience, whether that is a luxury purchase, a vacation, maybe you got upgraded to first class for the first time in your life. Like, I can't afford first class, but they upgraded me. Like, that experience is something really special in the service industry. And if you can provide that and do it in a way that's really authentic and connecting with people, as opposed to just putting it on and faking it, or, the authenticity really sells it. And I think that's my favorite part, is having people come away with that, telling me that, hey, I took my car to this shop, and I mean, it was fine, but the experience here was totally different. And they weren't commenting on the decor in my office, the stack of messy papers on my desk. That was the interaction that they were having with me, and how they felt like, man, we really took care. Like, maybe it took a little bit longer than I was hoping, but man, this really came out. You put the time in. You didn't cut corners. Like, especially those picky customers, when they're picking up their car, sometimes they'll look for the areas like, oh, they're not going to get in there. And then you see it in their eyes when you did get that spot. They're like, oh, dang, okay. That's all right. These guys, they put the time in, so I want them to feel like, wow, we heard you, we took care of you. I think it's a pretty direct connection to how making that customer feel like there's something different here. Being a part of that group, it's an elite group. It's a curated group. You can't phone it in. You can't fake it. It's got to be top quality. And, Corey's done such a good job with maintaining that and building the connections with everybody, like here at Verge, is this bonds and brings people together. Our industry, I think, suffers a bit from, a negative connotation. Like, mechanics struggle with this. Like, so many mechanics will take advantage, and really good, honest mechanics struggle with, they have to compete with that perception that people have. And I think that exists in the detailing industry as well. Like, how many people have had their car, oh, we got to wash and wax at, shop ABC down the street, and it was just terrible, and they missed this. Like, so a lot of times people are coming in a little apprehensive, and for what we do, it's not just we need to do better. It needs to be a completely different experience from the front to the back. It is elevating the industry, essentially. You're changing people's perception one car at a time. And the more that you do that, the more people start to, respect that. It changes the way they feel about it. You build that trust. But, you never want to be that shop that's just like, yeah, what package do you want on the wall? Like, okay, well, this person's going to work on it and it'll be ready in 3 hours, and thanks, bye-bye. Like, it's off-putting. When someone's coming in with a high dollar job, they want a massive paint correction. They want the best ceramic coating. They want the best paint protection film, and they're willing to spend for it. You need to meet them there. You need to treat them with that respect. And it's something that I think is missed a lot in the industry. So that's one of the things I love about the CQUARTZ Finest group, is we don't do that. We're trying to change that perception. And maybe I'm overthinking the perception that people have, but I see people converted from that perception on a somewhat regular basis. I've seen people come in slightly apprehensive, but they did enough research that, like, I think this is the right choice, but I hope I'm making the right choice. And then at the end of that, I see the conversion to where they're ecstatic. They love the way their car looks. It exceeded expectations, and they feel like, not only did I get a great thing, this was a good experience. You can visibly see some people relax. You see their shoulders drop, their tone changes a little bit, And it's those little things that I really cue into. And I'm not great at picking up all the social stuff, but there's some of those things that I can see. And when that shifts in people, like that's a big dopamine hit. That's a good reward right there. The thing that I remember that stuck out to me with Corey was he wanted to get to know me. He asked me key questions about how I did my work, how I interacted with the customers, if there was a problem that came up, how I handled it, really focusing on the customer service aspect. I think he reached out to one of my customers as well. I can't remember exactly, but I remember the very first CQUARTZ Finest job was referred by Corey. And he's like, hey, let's see how you do with this. And after that, Corey was solid. Like, he was happy. So I don't know if there was interaction between them afterwards, but connecting with Corey was key. And he's not the kind of person where if you just say what you think he wants to hear, like, he's going to see right through that. Corey always has a smile on his face, but it doesn't mean he's naive. He's a smart guy. And, there are people that he's said no to for good reason because he could see who they were, how they handle things. I think he looks for the passion that people have for it too. If there's no passion there, then just go put someone else's ceramic coating. Just buy product A. Then when you're done with that, go to product B, move along. He's looking for the people that have heart for it. And I see that in the people that are here. What VERGE means to me is coming together, the ideas, the minds, and the experience of your peers, your elders, and even some of the younger guys too. Hearing different perspectives. As detailers, we're very focused. We can hone in on things to the nth degree. It can be hard sometimes to step outside of that, take that 10,000 foot view. So having the interactions with other installers who were trying to do the same thing that you're doing is really helpful. I had a conversation with one of the guys here last night and made a suggestion to him, and one of the other guys kept referencing it. And I didn't think too much of it at first. But after a while, I was like, oh, I guess it was a good, it seemed like it really helped, and it wasn't planned. It wasn't a big grandiose thing. It was just a casual, hey, I think this might help you. And to see the response to that was really cool. And I get that from other people. There's stuff that Wes and Joe have said years ago that I'm implementing this year. And I remember 5 years ago, Wes saying this, and this January, I implemented that because that stuck out in my mind. I'm like, you know what? I want to be there. I want to be able to do that. These guys bring a lot to the table. Everyone here is here for a reason. And a wise person is going to listen to that, is going to look for what can I get from this, and how can I be a benefit to others too, and as someone who is more introverted and it's a little harder to approach, that's a little challenging for me, but just kind of relaxing a little bit, having a conversation with someone, it brings up, you never know what it's going to bring up, but it is, with VERGE, it is the bringing together of so many high quality individuals. It's not just a conference. It's not just presentations. You can have great presenters and have a terrible audience. Everyone here is invested in this, and you can tell. And I think that is what elevates it. When everyone is at the top of their game, whether they feel that at the top of their game or not, that's just a feeling. The fact that they're here, the fact that they're certified for this, the fact that Corey said yes to them says a lot. So whether they know it or not, they bring a lot to the table. And when you get all of that, good ideas start flowing, and it's fun. It's relaxing. It definitely jazzes you up for when you go home and all right, let's do this. I got this, you're excited to talk to that next customer. I've got a Porsche at the shop right now that I'm oh yeah, no one talked about how to polish this car, but somehow I just feel more excited to work on that car when I get home. you know. That's Verge is special like that. I've been to other conferences. This one is different. I don't want to say everyone's family. I think that's maybe a little overstating it. There are definitely a lot of people who view each other that way here, for sure. But this is for as large of a group as this is, the number of people who treat you like family is higher than anything else I've seen. Even in other industries, the camaraderie is higher. So I'd say be prepared for that, give to that, and they will give back. Like I will ask this group questions, technical questions, before asking an outside group that is, so for example, like disassembling a car. Like, hey, we've got a $350,000 Porsche at the shop right now. We've got to take this part off. I know this is how you do it, but what can you guys who have done it tell me about this? I know that with this group, I'm going to get that feedback that's genuine. Because you go into, a PPF group and you ask that question, you might get the right answer, but you're going to get a whole lot of noise. Whole lot of unhelpful answers. Might get some criticism. I can ask that question to people in this group and okay, maybe I'll get a couple of sarcastic answers, but it's in good fun. It's not someone being kind of bitter and know-it-all. And there will be people like, oh yeah, make sure like when you do this, nobody says this, but there's this little notch right here. If you don't know that that's there, the panel might move in a bad way. You can scratch it easily, little things like that. You get that genuine feedback and be watching for that too. So like, I don't post up in the groups that much. But when I see another person ask in like the group chat or whatever, like, hey, has anyone done this? Like, be ready to help them out. So I'd say that interaction and, as someone who is more on the introverted side, that's a little harder for me, but I put the effort to do that because I see the value in it. And so many people have done that and helped me at times where, I've been in this industry a long time, but it doesn't mean I don't ever have questions. It doesn't mean I don't come across something new. So I think that would be the biggest thing is coming into this is be ready to share your experience. Don't guard it. There's a lot of detailers, especially old school guys who are really closely guarded, and you got to open up a little bit more. And when you do, I think you'll find massive benefits that you won't find in other places. What advice would I give to an upcoming detailer? Listen to your customer first. Forget all the industry stuff. Forget the marketing speak for 5 minutes and listen to your customer. And if your customer doesn't really know exactly what they want, if they're having a hard time articulating it, maybe they know what they want. They don't know how to put it into words. They don't know what a ceramic coating is. Someone on Facebook told them they had to get it, and it's the best thing ever. So they come to your shop and like, I want the ceramic film. Do you mean paper protection film or ceramic coating? And you can see that they're lost. Take a few minutes and just talk to them, hear them, make that connection. That like more than anything and I've been in this industry a long time. This summer will be 25 years. That connection is the biggest thing, and I wish I learned it sooner. Once you hear them, you've got to deliver. So you have to work hard. If you're in this business, working hard is not optional. You have to push. You also want to avoid a negative experience. Just listening, even if you don't make a great connection with someone, you're more likely to pick up on something that's unspoken, an unspoken expectation that they have, and meet that just by talking, spending a little bit more time with them. Don't rush through it. I am Jeff McGovern, and I run Immaculate Reflections, and I am Team CQUARTZ.